Hello. So it's 1:36 a.m. and I've been watching a lot of people's Tourette's videos talking about the worst their tics have ever been, and I sort of felt compelled to make my own video about it because I haven't really talked about it much to people except my close friends and my mum and sister. And feeling a bit doomy and gloomy at the moment, so I thought why not add to it by talking about one of the scariest moments of my life. So, so the time I'm talking about, I've had tic attacks before. I call them tic attacks. I don't know what the technical term for it is, but it's basically for about usually 4 minutes. I just have non-stop tics that I just obviously cannot stop. But the worst that they've ever happened before was in the towards the end of year 12, so a few weeks before the HSC, or it might have been the yearlies for school. I can't really remember, it was that long ago and I've tried to block it out. That the worst they've ever been. It happened actually about 3 days before, when I was coming home from the shops with my dad. I started having a lot of vocal tics, and previously I hadn't had any vocal tics, except before that I started getting just random sounds, like the most common one was like ditch, like just random sounds. But I also started making a squeaking noise out of my throat that sounded like it was like like that sort of thing. And coming home from the shops with my dad, I started having a lot of just random sounds. And when I got home, I just had for about 2 minutes uncontrollable, just just like that. But it felt like I was pushing my stomach out of my throat and just constant noise, and it freaked my mum out because she wanted to take me to the hospital. But I ended up calming down, and then it was over. And then a few days later, while in science class, we were preparing for our HSC, and the teacher had left the room. And all my teachers at this point knew that I had Tourette's, or like some form of tic disorder. So they all knew about it, but I hadn't told my classmates about it just because I didn't really feel the need to. If people asked my friends what's wrong with Carly, they'd go, oh, she has tics. So, and that was just how I sort of wanted it to work. But after that, I was getting really stressed for whatever reason. I suppose maybe because I didn't get any like outward signs of stress. It all just built up and exploded on this day. So what happened was, sorry, my tics are really bad because I don't have my mouth cut in. What happened was, I was, as I said, getting really stressed, and I started getting the throat, the word tick, not word tics, the noise was starting to happen, but not too loud. And then one of my friends was like, let's just go outside. So we went outside, and then from there, just as soon as I left the classroom, it was like a screaming sort of like, but like really, really, really loud. And the more I tried to stop it, the worse it got. And we ended up, me and my friend, walking out. So the classrooms are sort of like that. So, like that, pretend this is the school. My class was at the end of the school. At the back of the school, there's like a massive grass area. So we went to the start of the grass area, and there's still a few classrooms around, and I could just feel people watching me, and I knew they were all listening. I could just feel people watching me, and it made me feel even worse. So me and my friend walked to the end of the grass area, and by this point I was screaming really, really loudly, and my friend had to hold me up because I felt like I was going to fall over. So it wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but it was non-stop, and that was the like sort of the first time I just felt completely out of control with my own body. I'd felt like that when I was at home, but it was just so much worse because I wanted it to stop so badly and it just wouldn't. And yeah, I had never really had that many that bad of a tick before. So that was probably the worst tick experience that I've ever had. My teacher was great. When she got back to the classroom, she was wondering where me and my friend were, and my other friend told her, "Oh, Carly's having like a tick attack," and then she could hear me screaming, and basically came running, even though my friend told her, "Oh, Carly doesn't really want people to pay attention to it." The teacher basically said, "Nah, I don't care. I need to go see if she's okay." So my teacher was pretty great. She came up to the back of the school and started talking to me and tried to get me to calm down. And it really did help, and I'm really grateful to her because I was just freaking out the whole time. And she just got saying, "It's okay. School's gonna be over soon. It doesn't matter how you do in your exams. I know you're gonna do well." And yeah, so she was great, and my friends were great, and no one teased me about it at all. I didn't hear anything directed my way about, "Oh, you're so weird," or anything. My friend, I think, heard one person make a comment about it. They were in a classroom close to where I was screaming, and she completely shut that person down via Facebook status. So that was like the only thing, but nothing was ever said to me. If they thought I was weird, then no one told me they thought I was weird. So it restored my faith in humanity a little bit. But yeah, after that, like vocal tics, just every single day I had tics. They eventually turned into words. A funny story about how I got my blood tick. I was doing an English extension assignment on Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart. And I went outside to practice my presentation because A, I needed to practice, and B, I was in the study classroom and my tics were like pretty vocal that day. So I was like to the teacher, "Look, I have to get out. I can't keep distracting people this close to exams." So me and a few of my friends went outside to just do our outside shenanigans. And I was reading out my speech presentation, whatever, and this is the line I was saying. "There was nothing to wash out, no stain of any kind, no blood spot whatever." So that is the comment, that is the sentence I was reading out. I think how that became a tic is at the time I had a lot of stomach tics, which would just make me like push my stomach up like that. Obviously you can't see my stomach, but that's not the point. So when I got to the word blood, I had a tic as I said it. And then I was trying to stop my throat from contracting while I was reading out my lines. So every time I got to that sentence, I started getting like a throat tick. So I tried to push through the throat tick, and then the stomach tick was there. But anyway, after I'd done that a few times, for random times, I'd just say blood, just for no particular reason, except that I have Tourette's. I just say blood every now and then, and me and my friends thought it was hilarious because we were so funny with my little tics. But so I was getting a bit wary, and that was the day I had to do my actual presentation. So I let the teacher know that I was having word tics that day, but I didn't end up saying blood during my presentation, which is good. But I ended up saying it the rest of the time I've had Tourette's, so not so good. But it's better than, I feel it's better than having the swearing tic, coprolalia, just because I have a lot of little kids in my family that are around me a lot, and I don't really want to swear in front of them. I've had one or two swearing tics, but that was one night that I'd be really hyped up and with my friends, and I don't know if they were really tics or just a word was in my head and I was having a lot of tics, so the word would just come out. That yeah, so blood has stuck with me through thick and thin, throughout the HSC, through my whole first semester of university. I've always had the blood tic to rely on in stressful situations. But really, of all the word tics I could have had, that's probably one of the better ones. So I'm not too upset that I have that word tic. But so that's but it was just funny how it started. All my other word tics have just been completely random. Like one time I said danger, and I've said that a few times afterwards. When I was in the bush, me and my friends drove past a sign that said danger, and as we drove past, I just went danger, and my friends thought it was random, and then someone pointed out, no, there's a sign that says danger. She was reading out the sign, and I'm like, exactly. So yeah, that's how I got the blood tic, and was also the worst tic experience of my life. I just felt like I needed to lighten it up because this video could very quickly become very depressing. So yeah, thank you for watching. Let me know what your worst tic experience was if you feel like sharing it. Maybe maybe it was worse than mine. It probably was because my tics aren't particularly that bad compared to some people's. But yeah, just trying to create a safe environment where we can all express ourselves. Yeah, anyway, that's me done for today, and now I'm gonna go to bed, so good night.